and welcome to the UK and Ireland Minnesota Vikings Fan Club podcast. I am your host and fan club co-president, Big Deal Rich. I really hope there's someone at home saying it with me. Big Deal Rich. Anyway, on this week's show, because we're on a bye week, I'm just going to see what the guys have been up to on the bye. We're going to run through the weekend results. We play the Eagles next, and they had a bit of an odd game against the Giants, so we'll do a bit of a review of that. Look forward to what we're into for playing the Eagles. We've got some injuries coming back. Who is our number one quarterback? And then we'll do some score predictions for the game. But Daz, roll the intro. For one more week of Vikings football. I am joined today by Vice President and all-round nice guy, Mr. John McDonald, content lead, and my London buddy, Tom Parry-Jones, and our dad, Daz Hales. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Oh, you can't be on mute.
He's on mute.
Press the button.
Who put me on mute? I didn't put me on mute. Which one of you did it? Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen. Round us off.
Hello,
John.
Gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen. Indeed. That's a really good start to the show. Everyone could have just not been on mute and paid attention. But anyway, what did we all do on that? I suppose we're all sort of out of the groove because we've been on a bye week. What do we all do for the bye week? Daz, I'm coming to you first. What do you do for a bye weekend?
So it was my eldest son's 15th birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
eldest
birthday,
son.
Ben. So I spent far too long at Thorpe Park on Saturday. And then
no such thing.
Took him, and because it's October and it's a scare fest, that was up until 9, and then about an hour and a half trying to get out of the gridlock car park. So I got home at midnight and then had to take him to football for a 9 o'clock kickoff. On the Sunday morning. So by the time it got round to football, I pretty much was asleep, although I did catch some red zone. So that was why.
Because you are an old boy. I thought you were going to say you were in the park drinking Buckfast for a 15-year-old's birthday. That's what we used to do when we were younger. TPJ,
Yeah.
What did you do on bye weekend?
I can't remember what I did on Saturday, but Sunday I was in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium again, the site of our victory over the Cleveland Browns the previous weekend. And I was working on Broncos Jets. Congratulations to the Denver Broncos for another win this season.
Don't congratulate anyone for that game.
Congratulations really should go to anyone who survived it without gouging their eyeballs out, because that was utter dross. But
I got paid through it, and it sounds like I got away with it.
Yeah, I got paid to be there, so I was quite happy with that. And then I struggled to get home because I didn't have parking and I didn't have my car with me, so I had to get an Uber. Anyway, it was a good bye weekend.
There you go. And Vice President John, all around nice guy. What did you do on bye? I hear you were back working nights, so was that the fun last night?
Yeah, it was my first night back last night.
We can tell you're back working again. You seem more tired from work than you did from cycling the length of the country.
Yeah. Well, I finished work last night, and I was just like, all right. For the last 6 months, I've been in a strict routine of eat, sleep, exercise for this bloody bike ride. And now I'm just like, I got home last night. Got home this morning. I was like, what do I do now?
Feel like a nomad. But I suppose now is as good a time as any to say that is it still open? Still open to donate?
It is still open to donate at the Just Giving page. Yes, it is.
www.justgiving/purple pedals. It's not that.
Justgiving.com/page/the purple pedal.
There you go. There we go.
So the donations are still open, but the competition to win the Justin Jefferson Funko has now closed, and the winner should have been announced by the time this goes out. But
exciting.
Stand by if it hasn't.
And whoever it was, well, congratulations to you. Anyway, we'll move on because we've got to talk about some football. TPJ, can you just whiz through this weekend's results for us, please?
I certainly can. I will absolutely whiz through them. So we'll start on Thursday Night Football when the Philadelphia Eagles, our next opponents, took on their division rivals, the New York Giants. Big division rivalry there. Super Bowl champion Eagles losing 17 points to 34 to Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. Then Sunday, we had in the early game, obviously here in London, we had the Broncos beating the Jets 13-11 in one of the worst games I've ever seen. But we did have an odd safety, which was fun to watch. Then the 6 o'clock games, the LA Rams beat the Baltimore Ravens, who seem to be in a bit of a nosedive, 17-3. The Ravens, I mean, we talk about most valuable players like Lamar Jackson. Like, he's proving why he is the most valuable player in the league almost every year, except for when Josh Allen wins it. The Carolina Panthers beat the Dallas Cowboys 30-27, narrow one there. Only 4 points in it between the Indianapolis Colts and the Arizona Cardinals. The Colts coming out on top 31-27. The Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold continuing to lead them to victories. They won 20-12 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The LA Chargers, another narrow one, beating the Miami Dolphins 29-27. The Cleveland Browns lost in a divisional contest with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers coming out on top 23-9. The Patriots in the final game of the 6 o'clock window, winning 25-19 against the New Orleans Saints. Then we had the later window, later, not late, where the Las Vegas Raiders ended Brian Callahan's reign as head coach of the Tennessee Titans, winning 20-10. Brian Callahan just fired today as we record this on Monday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the San Francisco 49ers 30-19. And then the Green Bay Packers in the final game of the 9 o'clock window beat the Cincinnati Bengals 27-18. Then you've got Sunday Night Football, the final game of the Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs bouncing back. I don't know. They've looked a bit rubbish recently, but they managed to beat the Detroit Lions 30-17, leaving Monday Night Football just ahead of us with the Buffalo Bills taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta and the Chicago Bears away to the Washington Commanders.
Score predictions for those two games, please. Tom Perry-Jones, you were dreadful at it last time, so get better.
I really was, and that's why I really want to say not a chance. But I think the Buffalo Bills will beat the Atlanta Falcons, God knows, 32-23, and the Commanders will beat the Bears 23-16.
The Commanders better beat the Bears. We're whizzing through the weekend's results. Baker Mayfield I love watching Baker Mayfield, this resurgence of a forgotten, thrown out quarterback. In both him and Sam Darnold is good to watch. The Giants, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute. Crazy times. The London game was absolutely horrible. The worst advert for the game across this side of the pond that you will ever see. And how cross must the Jets be watching Aaron Rodgers lead the Steelers to a few wins, and then them having to lay eyes on what looks like a dejected, just out on his ass Justin Fields, who I thought he might come back and look half decent at some point. He might have the quarterback resurgence, but he's dreadful.
I saw the Vikings for that.
I saw a stat that came up from that game on social media, which I thought had to be incorrect. That the total throwing yardage was -10.
Minus.
Yeah. What?
At one point, that
obviously includes sack yardage.
I really feel that even I could probably improve on that. And Jesus, that is so.
I am telling you, there is no way on earth I am worse than Justin Fields at football. No chance. I am not having it. At one point, they had more points on the board than offensive yards. I don't know how that
works. Well, we were scrambling in the stats booth on Sunday. We were scrambling to find when the last time a team won with 0 or less passing yards was. It was
must be like
bonkers.
the 60s or something ridiculous.
The last time anyone did it with exactly 0 was like 1974, but a team did win with negative yardage in 2006.
Ooh,
negative passing yardage. Obviously, they had some rushing yardage.
I was going to
say, yeah,
just keep going backwards, and we will get to the end zone just the long way round.
Who was it? Tell me
it was the Texans or someone. I don't know. It was because it didn't happen. We didn't need to remember it. It never got on air, so straight out of my head.
Anyway, and then I'm just going to round it off by saying the Colts are not a good team, and they will get found out. Just like the Lions, who are frauds. Anyway, we'll move on quickly.
I was just going to interject, because at the time, very quickly, because we are on the clock, but Rich, I just want to point this out to you. Talking of Lamar Jackson, in our little fantasy, I forgot that I had Lamar Jackson and didn't take him out. So I hammed down a player. And it still reckons I'm going to beat you after tonight's game.
It does, because I have 2 players on IR that I forgot to swap out of my team. So I think we're just on a bit of a hanger. It's a bye week. You like waiting to it just super cash. Came back from billion rugby tournament in the morning, 5 games, 5 wins, got an absolute screaming touchdown up the sideline. I just sort of like sat down.
They
for the
don't
rest
call
of the
them
day.
that in rugby, Rich.
Well, try to whatever it was. Anyway, it was good, and he got a medal. And then I sat down and watched the London debacle, and then thought there must be a half decent game at 6:00, which there was. For the 6:00 games were okay. And then Baker Mayfield put the Baker Mayfield show on, and then I looked at my fantasy and I should probably check that stuff. And then just IRs all over the place, ridiculous. This is that week in the season where you just sit down and you go, rubbish, absolutely rubbish. But talking of rubbish. Are the Eagles rubbish, or are they having a blip, or is this the best time to play them, or what?
God, I'm dreading it, because they're a wounded animal.
Yeah, I'm dreading it. I'm absolutely dreading it, because they're an annoyed Eagles team will really punish. Is going to punish someone sometime soon. They're going to put some hurt on someone soon, and I just pray it's not us.
Yeah, but you're both saying that, but they were a wounded animal going into the Giants game because they lost badly the week before. And I think they had like 60 rushing yards, and Saquon got half of those in the first bloody drive. So what they did for the rest of I watched the highlights. I can't remember watching the highlights. That's how much of a boring game it was. I think Jackson Dart had more time in the pocket. He could have made several cups of teas before he threw any of his receiving yards to wide receivers who no one has ever heard of before, because Neighbors is injured for the rest of the season. So they were playing a guy called Little John or something like that, who's 6'6" or something ridiculous. So I've just everything about it was just
nickname Tiny.
Weird. He's called Little something, 6'6", 6'4" wide receiver, Little something. Anyway, I don't know anything about the Giants, because I don't need to, because they're supposed to be rubbish. Jackson Dart happened to just be given loads and loads and loads of time to do whatever he wants, and that was either pick out one of his unknown wide receivers or just walk into the end zone. Scatty Booby-Doo, I can't remember. The guy who we passed up, who we probably should have drafted because we could have had a good running back for cheap for the next 4 years, who looks like he's got no neck, had a decent game. That was good to watch. But
yeah, he's going to have a concussion by week 11 and then never come. I mean, I can't remember who the character was in He-Man that just had no neck and just battering ram.
Isn't that Manny Faces?
I don't possibly, but I'll try. Yeah, I'm an old man, so I can't remember that far back into my youth. But I just remember it just everything is hitting with his head. It's just like you are going to. It's going to be fun whilst it lasts. But
he has got Newcastle Grayskull. He needs to wind it in.
I have got him in 3 of my fantasy leagues, so he got me about. I think it was about an average of about 32 points between all my fantasy leagues. I'm just like, yeah. That's what we wake up on Friday morning and see that. You're like, yeah, that's a good start to the fantasy week.
I had Achan in my fantasy, who got me about 32 points yesterday, and Miami lost. So that rings about right. The Eagles again. How can you be robbed of offensive MVP in Saquon Barkley, and then just decide not to give him ball. It just doesn't make any sense. He's they're far the best player on their team, but it's not like they've got bad wide receivers. It's not like they've got a bad offensive line or defense, but their secondary yesterday was dreadful. They couldn't stop the run. The only thing they could do is shift Dexter Lawrence, the man-mountain Dexter Lawrence, by tush-pushing 4 times. They deserve to lose games tush-pushing 4 times at the end zone. Absolutely diabolical team. So I don't know. I'm quietly optimistic that this might be the best time to play him because, like I say, if they were going to be a wounded animal into a game, they should have been wounded animal into the Giants because they hate the Giants. They don't particularly hate us. So there's nothing to hate about us. So
I mean, they hate everyone. But
it's not like you've ever jinxed our team before, is it, Rich?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of
not like you're famous for jinxing us.
No, indeed. I think the Eagles have not looked good this season in relation to how they've looked over there. So I think that's fair. I think there's definitely something not quite clicking. And if we weren't in the situation we were in, I know we'll come on to it a little bit in a minute in terms of injuries potentially coming back and so forth. But even with that first game back after a bye, that sort of gelling, that's the bit that just makes me feel a little bit nervous about this. I think if we here's the controversial thing, if we play Carson Wentz, revenge game and everything else, I think I'd feel a little bit more confident in this game. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do, but I think there would be a little bit more confidence in my head to say there's the hot hat. I loathe to use the word hot hand because it's hardly been hot, but the lukewarm hand is possibly the better way to get the win. But I don't know that that's the right decision for the organisation as a whole. But it's an interesting position to find ourselves in, I think.
We'll skirt ourselves onto that now because we're going to have to talk about injuries coming back for the Vikings. We're going to have to talk about who's the number one quarterback. Well, one thing I will say about the Eagles is they get hot at the right time usually. That's the thing for that team.
When they play us.
The Chiefs tend to do it as well. They tend to be mediocre and you think, the Chiefs are playing rubbish, and all of a sudden they're 4-1. And then they go on a hot streak. They actually win games by playing well. The Eagles, all Super Bowl teams do tend to do that. We tend to come out the blocks like a fresh kitten and then be absolutely knackered by the end of the season. So, I know that is a saying. Is it a saying? I don't know. It is now.
Let the cat out of the bag.
Come out like a fresh kitten.
A fresh kitten.
I've never heard that turn of phrase in my life.
That must be a Yorkshire thing.
I think it's a Richard thing.
It's a very niche Yorkshire thing, I think.
Anyway, we're limited on time.
We are limited on time. You guys babbling on about my amazing sayings. Anyway, so the injuries to the Vikings have not been kind to us over the first quarter of the season. We are a quarter way into the season now. I see John's so upset he's crying.
crying, laughing.
We're looking at the injury, and so I think one thing that we definitely know, Kelly is on IR now because his brain's made of soup, so he needs to go and get himself sorted. But Jurgens is back, so we've got an actual recognised centre who's under.
Well, I think we need to be careful here. He's not back. He's back. So the report that came out from KOC today, I think, is that in terms of good news, so Cashman they've activated his 21-day return, so that's good, but that doesn't make him available. And then I think JJ, Jurgens,
and Donovan
Jackson and one other are all expected to practice this week in some capacity.
Altogether.
So let's keep an eye on the injury reports throughout the week.
And to be honest, Blake Brandel did a good enough job against the Browns that I don't see why he wouldn't keep the centre job, even if Jurgens is fit for the weekend.
Browns are bad though, aren't they? So this is we've got a dilemma now because let's go straight into it.
Their defensive line isn't though. Let's be fair.
I was going to say the Browns are really good on their defensive line, Rich. That's the one area you can't criticise.
They weren't.
Yeah, because we schemed for it well, and I think we can do that against the Eagles.
I was having a dramatic pause then, and you interrupted. So I'll start again.
It wasn't in the pre-notes. I don't see.
It's not in our running order, so you can't do it. We haven't allotted for this time.
Dramatic pause, don't interrupt. So we're all going to have to, I'm going to go, I just want a one-word answer from all of you. Who is our QB1, John?
Carson. Okay.
Who is our QB1, Daz?
For this game?
No, I'm asking who's our QB1.
Don't know, because I don't know.
Well, you got, if you're in the hot seat, I've made you honorary Vikings coach for the day.
Oh, thanks.
This is more than a one-word answer.
Exactly. Just say one word. Who's our QB1?
JJ.
Okay. TPJ, who's our QB1?
McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy is the Vikings QB1. And if he's healthy, he plays. But we're in this weird situation now where we go, yeah, JJ McCarthy should play. But we're playing the Eagles.
Not just healthy, but sufficiently prepared, which he won't be going into this game because he'll only have had a week of practice. He's not practiced since the end of week 2.
Oh, sorry, was he not sufficiently prepared for the season when we gave him the ball and made him QB1? I'll ask another question.
Had a whole off season.
I'll ask another question. If Josh Allen was our quarterback and he'd been out for a few weeks, does he play against the Eagles at the weekend? Of course it does. Absolutely.
Depends.
No, of course it does.
Depends.
No.
At what point in his career are we having this? Josh Allen today? Absolutely Josh Allen. Josh Allen in his first rookie year?
Yeah, he plays.
And a backup has come in. No, because if you remember, Josh Oliver was awful in his first 2 seasons.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Not
our tight end.
I'm pretty sure he got to the playoffs though.
His first season was
not in his rookie year.
Not in his rookie year. But
you said first 2 seasons.
The point is,
no, Darren meant his rookie season. I muddied the waters there.
So yeah, in his first year, if you were asking me that, if a backup had come in and been playing well enough, serviceable, then I'm not sure I would necessarily have brought Josh Allen in at that point either.
Josh Allen was 5-6 as a rookie quarterback.
It's an apple and a gold watch comparison you're doing.
You've also got to think as well that Carson Wentz is a bit banged up because he had to get injections in his shoulder through half the game, in his hip. He's also nearly 30 odd years old, and as I said for the last couple of games, we didn't win those games because of Carson Wentz. It's not like his arm was on fire. I
think that's
it was on the final drive against the Browns, 9 of 9 with a touchdown pass to finish it.
Absolutely.
Well, and JJ McCarthy did that against the Bears.
He didn't go 9 of 9 in the final drive.
Well, I think he did something similar like that in the fourth quarter. I mean, what I'm saying is JJ McCarthy's our quarterback. If he is healthy enough to play, personally, I think that we have. Okay, we'll add a little bit of context into this conversation. So we've gone 5 games, and we have got a record that is probably a little bit disappointing over those first 5 games, considering if you look at our entire season, they're the easiest clutch of games that we're going to play. We're now going to a really difficult part of the season. I'm not giving up by any means, but we're looking like that we are a little bit off being a playoff team. So why don't we just put JJ McCarthy into all the situations and let him learn? Surely that's what this season's about, letting the guy learn and seeing if we've got a quarterback there.
Yeah, it depends on what you mean by learn, though.
I'll give you, at the start of the season, what we're heading into was one of our most difficult periods of the season. With all the injuries that have happened to the teams we are playing now, I think it's a lot easier. Maybe not the Eagles.
Is better?
Maybe not the Eagles, but yeah. Now I still wouldn't play JJ against the Eagles. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to chuck a rookie coming off injury into that situation. After the Eagles, yes.
So against the Lions?
Chargers next. Chargers on Thursday Night Football away, and then the Lions away in a noon game on November the 2nd.
So really, those 3 games, the Eagles is probably the easiest game out there. I mean, the Chargers have been pretty good, and it's in LA. Jim Harbaugh knows everything about our quarterback you could possibly know. And then after that, we go into the Lions, and the Lions at the moment are a wounded animal. Again, they could be rubbish this year, but out of those 3 games, at the moment, the Eagles is probably the winnable game out of those 3.
Yeah, probably.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think they're all very tough. This is a very tough run, and I am in 2 minds. That's the problem. There's a good probably 60% of my brain that agrees with you, Rich. Is that just get him in there.
Say that again.
Giving him the warm fuzzies.
But there's also listening back to things that KOC has said about, teams failing QBs a lot more than QBs failing teams in terms of rookies or young quarterbacks. And one of the things that we see that does ruin QBs is when they're thrown in too early and their confidence is completely annihilated, or they pick up stupid niggly injuries. And I don't want to start to believe that JJ is a little bit brittle, but he's at the moment he's played 3 games in 2 seasons in 1.5 seasons, so he needs to be taken care of a little bit, I think. And what you're doing here is you're putting him back in to a potentially a completely different O-line again that's just coming back from injury, and it feels like Carson at this point just has a little bit more command with that experience of just being able to maybe navigate that choppy water a little bit better. But it depends on what the team want to do. If they want to throw him in and just bed him in and get him and not worry so much about the results, then JJ's your choice. If they generally think they're going to get something out of the game, I can't necessarily disagree with John that maybe Carson is the right move, or at least to start the game and maybe bring JJ in if it's
I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here, obviously. Not like I'm an argumentative chap, but I can see all sorts of different points. I mean, you're not going to put Max Brosner in for this game because that'd be a bit weird. And yeah, Carson going back to Philly. I don't know. We are at an odd juncture in this type of in this part of the season because we've got a winning record. We've got a winning record with one of the most ridiculous injury records that we've ever had at this point of the season, but we've got a winning record. So do you chase it, or do you wait until it's about right and learn? I don't really know what's in whose heads at the Vikings head office. I don't know. This is where Kevin O'Connell's going to have to earn his money, because he could make 2 or 3 really bad decisions here, and he's either going to have to make those decisions and they come good, make those decisions and they come bad, and just learn and put his hands up, or go, yeah, that was me, I made the right. It's going to be a very, very interesting 3 or 4 weeks, not just for this season, but for next season, the season after, because like you say, you could burn poor JJ out. He could be tossed aside and then picked up by the Cardinals and have a phenomenal career, or we could wait it out and see what happens. It's going to be an odd one.
Yeah,
he's still the youngest QB in the league.
Yeah,
we are forgetting how young he actually is. So let's not rush him back. And let's face it, we've all spoke a lot about how good KOC is with QBs. Let's trust him and not take Richard's word. I trust KOC more than I trust Richard. I know that's controversial, people.
You heard it here first.
I don't think that JJ McCarthy is the sort of guy to get rattled either. I think he's made of stern stuff. He's prepared himself well to be able to deal with the tribulations of being a professional NFL quarterback. He knows that things aren't always going to go his way, and when they don't, he just it's like water off a duck's back. He bounces back.
It's easy to say that, but the only I hope I say that is that JJ has never really been in that losing situation. That's the problem. He doesn't know what that's actually like because he's never had that. For whatever reason. In that case, I think we have to
In that case, we have to let him play this weekend and see how he responds. I think we have to know. We have to know what we've got.
Yeah, if you ask me what I think is going to happen, he's going to play. If he's ready, they're going to put him in. I can't see. The front office have made a big. That's their man. That they've made too much noise to now start backtracking. They're going to have to live with it.
I'm curious as to what actually the NFL injury report means when they say a player is DNP. Like, is he not doing any conditioning work at all, or does it just mean is he not taking any like actual reps in a throwing situation, in a game style situation? He must be doing conditioning work. So I think if he's fit, it's just a case of is he up to speed with the game plan for the weekend?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
It's definitely an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. And, you guys have said, well, don't put him in. Let KOC manage the situation. Don't put him in. Protect him almost from the game. But on the flip side of that, I also do think that KOC has got the nous to put him in. And if something goes wrong, to really learn from that experience and put his arm around JJ and, a bit like Steve Bruce used to do, put his arm around JJ and say, this is not the end of the road for you, buddy. This is just us learning, how you can react to certain situations, and let's watch some tape together and let's see if we can get it right. So I think there's two ways of learning from this and two ways of protecting your quarterback. You either let him play and then deal with it if something happens, or don't let him play and maybe put him in a different situation. But I just think there's too many difficult situations coming up. He's got to play against his own.
If McCarthy plays, I don't think he gets yanked during the game.
No way. No way.
He plays the full game. If he doesn't start, I think Wentz plays the full game. Unless it's absolutely going to pot. Like if Wentz can't make any throws. But it'll have to be judged based on his
40-50 up at the fourth quarter, and we then just start playing backups. Which is the most likely outcome.
Is the most likely outcome, of course. I'm actually more excited to see the return of Blake Cashman.
Yeah.
I think I think it's the more meaningful injury to be over. Because I think
here's a controversial question, which I know is going to get.
You're going to say drop IPJ?
Drop IPJ or Eric Wilson?
Who do you drop, IPJ or Eric Wilson? And I know where I'm at the moment.
IPJ.
I am dropping IPJ every day of the week. Eric Wilson has been by far the best.
John, what would you say?
I'm going to be controversial and I'm going to agree with Darren.
You blasphemous trio of horrible people. I'm pleading the fifth on this one. So if we can swiftly move on to
you agree with us and you don't want to say it.
You agree with us.
If we're looking at the numbers, I will plead the fifth. Swiftly move on to another question. There's been some odd Vikings play. Again, we've got a winning record, which is crazy because all we've done is drop balls and not tackle anyone. So I don't really know where we've got 3 wins from. I mean, you go into your last game, you don't play Jordan Addison for the first quarter because he's been a bit of a naughty boy. He comes on and absolutely schools everyone in the last quarter. It's just everything about this season so far has been just a little bit weird. And even KOC, I don't think has ever had to prepare for what this season's thrown at him. And now we're talking about Ivan Pace Jr., who was nailed on as a starter in every game. Now we're saying actually maybe he needs a rest. It's all a little bit weird.
Every player goes through peaks and troughs. They're not going to be consistent every week. But
there's a difference between being on fire and having a standard game and playing the way that IPJ has at the start of this season. It has been not good to watch. The one thing I was looking forward to was having Van Ginkel back. So I thought, maybe he just tweaked his neck when he was part of a concussion, but that's looking like bad news at the moment. Still on injury, no word from him whatsoever, and Dallas Turner is not setting the world on fire. So it's just I don't know. Let's wait and see. The Eagles, we've been on a bye. We're all having a bit of a reflect. We're all sort of forgetting maybe how good we've played in spells, but we'll see what happens against the Eagles. In fact, I know TPJ. I'm gonna I'm going to sacrifice your running order to go straight into. I want score predictions for the game. So, John, I'm coming to you first. Eagles, Vikings, give me a score prediction.
37-28.
Ooh, it's like you were channeling the football gods while saying that then. Daz, I'm coming to you next.
I thought contractually we had to pick a win for the Vikings. I didn't realize this was an option. That's thrown me.
I didn't realize you'd signed a contract.
We'll be pulling John into the office after this and say having a word.
I think we're at home, right? This is a home game, yeah?
Yeah,
of course it is.
So
not even prime time, it's noon. Noon Minneapolis
I'm
time.
Go Vikings win 21-17.
Ooh, don't do that to me. 2-minute drive on the last play, on the last quarter, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
God's sake.
Yeah, that was literally the score we had against the Browns.
I know.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. I'll take it.
I think we've struggled so much against the run this season that I don't think Saquon Barkley is going to have a bad game. I think he's probably going to go over 100 yards. And I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win. Oh, God, that felt like a dagger in my heart. I think the Eagles are going to win 31-24. And we're going to try and win it on the final drive. And we're just not going to get the touchdown we need.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you've even played it out. And
I can see it now.
Like a dagger to your heart, but not enough for you to not say the Eagles were going to win. Unbelievable. Like I say, you'll be in the office after this.
Sometimes when you have the power of foresight, as I do, you see you see things that hurt. But
can we go back over your predictions for the other scores?
Hey, look, I've made some good ones in the past.
DPJ predicts badly. Anyway, so that brings it on to me. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to say that we're going to lose a game. I'm going to go for a 23-23 tie at the bank with 2 kicks in overtime, and then everyone goes off home miserable. So, and we don't know anything more about the team than what we did before the game started.
What did you say? 23-23?
23-23.
Don't do the maths. We haven't got the time.
I have been babbling on a little bit, and I haven't got my glasses on, but I can see we are close to time. So I'm going to move on. We've sort of already touched on the season as a whole so far. Obviously, we are a quarter of a way through the season. I'm going to ask just a really quick question to all of you. TPJ, I'll start with you. Are you shocked that we have got a winning record so far?
No.
Oh, okay. Daz, you?
No, I'm not shocked that we've got a winning record. I'm shocked that we've got it in the way that we have.
I'll take that. John, what about yourself?
None.
Oh, okay, just me then.
This is great content, guys.
He keeps asking for one-word answers.
Entertained?
Only one-word answer.
You told me we had about 46 seconds to record the show tonight, so I've been
got
trying
9 minutes left.
Move it on pretty quick. So, yeah, but I did think that someone would be a little bit shocked that we've won loads of games, considering, again, massive.
Well, we haven't won
record.
Loads. We've won one more than we've lost.
Well,
and we've not looked good. And we've not looked good in the process. I think if you'd asked me before the season, would you be surprised if we won 3 or more games? I would have said no. And in fact, I did predict that we would have won like 4 of the first 5.
I said we'd be 5-0 by now.
But based on the way we're playing, I am surprised that I think we've been lucky to have a reasonably unchallenging schedule in the first 5 games.
Injuries have come at the right time. That's what we're saying. Injuries have come at the right time. We've got all the bad play out of the way. We've learned everything we could possibly learn about the team, and now we're just going to go on a massive hot streak all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean,
that's literally not what I said, but
I think that's exactly what you said.
One way for you to interpret it. Yeah.
If you don't say the words, I'm going to interpret, and
sure.
I've interpreted.
I think we should let the listeners interpret.
Yeah, tell us what you think. If you think we've had a shocking or great start to the season, again, weirdly enough, because he's always right, Darren has probably hit the nail on the head. not shocked that we're winning because I thought we were going to have a winning record by now. But the way that we've done it, just all a bit weird. And the injury records that we've had, 3 quarterbacks have taken snaps so far this season. It's just all been a bit weird. And I'm still a bit cross that we never got over the 50-point line against the Bengals. I watched them last night. I watched Joe Flacco nearly take apart the Green Bay Packers last night, just in a equally stupid game.
Yeah.
So,
can I just point out that our only 2 defeats have been outside the UK when Rich has been present.
Outside the UK? The Falcons?
Yeah.
I mean, I was there. I'm not saying I was. Next time I'm going to wear those glasses with a nose. See if
that
they
was
recognize
outside the UK.
That was outside the UK.
America is outside. Sorry. America is outside the UK.
Yeah, but we've won it. We've also won outside the UK.
Join us on next week's episode where we do some basic geography lessons.
Well, just to confirm, I got a U for A-level geography because I played on the rugby team who went out and played on Thursday night, and double geography was first thing on a Friday morning, and I never went. So that's a good life skill for you kids out there. Don't bother going to class. You'll be fine. You'll be presenting a very
you'll be not getting paid to present a flipping NFL fan podcast.
Poorly.
I think he does a good job. I'm just saying, let's know where we're at.
We haven't got time for.
Cheers, Tom. I did get a grade for media studies, so this is paying off now. And
a grade.
I'm not going to say which grade because it was also not good. But if we move on, I've got one of those national records of achievement. Did anyone ever read one of those ever since the school told you how important they were? No, of course you haven't. And because no one reads them, that means no, I didn't lie on my CV. So we'll move on really quickly, and I think this is about it. I think we've got through. You did tell me that again. I've got no glasses on. 41 minutes into the show, you told me we had 46 minutes worth of recording time. Reese, this is the bit where Reese tells us about all of the handles that we've got on different social media. Does anyone want to have a stab at it this week?
Well, apparently, according to the running order, somehow I've got this job. I don't know how
nominated you. I thought you'd be good at it.
So, okay. So, if you have not enjoyed this show, we are the UK and Ireland Green Bay Packers fan club. Please send your comments to them. However, if you did enjoy this show, you know who we are. You can find us everywhere where you can find us on social media, apart from certain where we can't be asked to be. So if you want to go web, the web address is ukvikingsfans.co.uk. I think on most of our handles, apart from Blue Sky, does anyone actually use that anymore? I'm not even going to bother. It's UK Vikings Fans. Then there's the Discord, because if I don't mention that, Reese loses a life. So there's Discord. What is the email? ukvikespod@gmail.com.
I can hear Reese. ukvikespod@gmail.com. That's
ukvikespod@gmail.com.
There you go. If you've got any questions for us that you want me to, if you want me or any of the rest of the guests on the panel to answer any questions, fire them in, and we will happily. And if you want to be on instead of just being a 4 old bloke echo chamber every week, just let us know, and we'll give you a link, and you can join us and talk about the Vikings. That's what we are.
And you got the comments and stuff in various things. So
leave us a review. Leave us a review on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you get your podcast.
Like, subscribe, and all that stuff. In fact, TPG, I think we've done that so well, you could probably cut that out and just have that as almost like an advert for the show. Do that in the future. Anyway, that's about all we've got time for. So.
Literally, that is all we've got time for.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much for listening. I think there's probably just one last thing to do, which is say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye, gentlemen.
Nice. Thank you very much for listening. Cheers. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Please leave that in.